What would you say to yourself, knowing what you know today?
I probably would accelerate faster than I did because I think in my 20s, I was trying to find my position. And I was spending a lot of time trying to fit in. And I would realize that by doing that, no one was going to wait for me. No one was going to hold the door. When you're in a male-dominated industry, the boys are not going to be gentlemen. And, what's interesting about that, and thank God for the fact that I am a country girl, because my daddy put me on a motorcycle at 5.
Yeah.
And so I can take a beating and get up pretty well. And I'm not saying the guys beat me up, but what I'm saying is that you have to fit in, but not blend in. And so, what I discovered is there were a lot of double standards, and what was good for the guys for bragging rights wasn't necessarily appreciated for the women. So I would just say that I would have gone faster. I could have moved more ground. It took me a while to figure it out, but once I mastered it, I started to win, and I was going for
What was that tipping, I guess you get a paradigm shift or mindset shift? What was that and when?
So I had a few of those, I think. The tipping point for me is I took a job, my second job. So I took a job, I was with 160 originators in a Boston-based brokerage, pretty big brokerage at the time, dominated the market share in Boston, and it was all guys. There was not one female originator out of the 167, so I represented the token female, and I felt like they were hiring me at the time, kind of like, let's check this box off. And I thought, they're going to underestimate what I'm going to do with this opportunity. Yes.
Huh.
And so, my sales has always been be a trusted advisor. From the day I stepped foot into the sales arena, I had a little bit of processing background through college because I was working in a bank while I was going to school. And I just went out and I said, listen, I know how to do it better than anybody else because I've done the loans from the inside out. I'm not going to waste your time. Give me your stuff, and I promise you it's going to get through. So I kind of went with like a pseudo guarantee.
So how you look at your sales, it sounds like you were telling the truth.
Yeah, I was being authentic.
Where did that confidence come from? Do you believe it came from?
I felt like I knew my shit. I felt like I knew more than the other people knew. I knew the underwriting guidelines. I knew the product guidelines. I knew how to create, be creative with the deal. I was willing to go the extra mile. I was hungry. So, I was, the group that I was with, there was a lot of guys, like they had the VIP parking spots, and I was like in the way back of the parking lot. And there was a whole, jockeying that was occurring. You'd go into the boardroom, and it was pretty obvious I was the girl in the room, and I'd broken up the boys club to a degree. And, I've gotten more comfortable talking about this because for years I wouldn't even say that out loud, that I had broken up the boys club or that they made me feel that way. Today I'm confident, and I can tell you that I got in there. And I got laughed at a little, I got bullied a little bit, I got ribbed, teased, friendly, we could call it competitive.
Yeah.
And I just kept my mouth shut and my head down, and slowly, inch by inch, I knocked them off.
Where did that internal power to keep your head down and focus come from? Because look, at the world's changed.
Yeah.
That was a different time. So
Yeah.
where inside of you did that come from? Someone can draw from that and learn from that.
No, I just always knew that action, was results. I had to work at a young age, and I grew up poor, and I just had a good work ethic. I realized I was going to beat people. I wrote about it in Wise Eyes.
Yeah,
in the opening of my book, I had this monumental moment at like legit, like 8 years old, where I ran for the student council president. And, real short, I had a guidance counselor and a principal saying, you can do it. And I didn't think I could do it. I had no confidence at that age. I knew I wasn't popular, but I just stood on like the playground legit at 8 years old I had gotten 2 of my best friends to come with me and hand out buttons on the playground. And that's what we did. We just kept doing it, and I won. And
so you had someone that had your back.
Yeah.
At around 8, you said?
Yeah. So instead of playing, we forewent to like campaign. I asked how the political system worked, and of course they were educating us at that point. So it just set,
So at 8 years old, you had a mentor that inspired you to take initiative on
Yes,
something you wanted.
that's so key. Yes.
And instead of saying, I'm hearing like metaphors, you said no to playtime
Yeah.
and yes to success.
Right.
At 8.